Today's lesson is called Fraction Multiplication Story Problems. Please make sure that you have a notebook or a piece of paper and a pencil to take notes. We're going to be focusing on reading story problems today and creating a equation to go with a story problem. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at fraction story problems, as I mentioned, and what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at a problem, we're going to be drawing a model of the problem, using the model to solve, and then we're going to write an equation to show the numbers in the problem and the solution. So these here are our instructions, this is what I just read from, okay? Something really important when you're looking at story problems that's very, very crucial that you do is that you look at what is being asked, okay? So down here, I see a question, so questions always end in a question mark. And then we always want to make sure that we're looking at the numbers. Sometimes they try to trick you and they give you a little bit more information than you really need. It's not always the case, but we want to be mindful of that. So let's look at number one here and we'll do this one together. It says Jamie has 3/4 of a liter of juice and she's sharing it with her friends. Together they drank 1/2 of the juice. How much juice in liters did they drink? Okay? I want you to take a minute and I want you to underline any information that you think is important. So I think it's very important to know that Jamie has 3/4 of a liter of juice. So I know we're talking about juice here. I think it's also important to know that she's sharing it with her friends and that they drank half of the juice. Okay? So I'm going to take my highlighter here and I'm just going to underline how much juice in liters did they drink, because that's what I need to find out. So the numbers that I'm going to be working with here are 3/4 times 1/2. So pause for a minute and I want you to write this as an equation. I want you to brainstorm how you think you're going to solve this, because remember, we have to draw a model, as it says up here, use the model to solve, and then write an equation. So think about, let's plan this out, okay? Go back to your notes. Okay, so we know that 3/4 liters of juice, what was inside of the container, and half of it was shared with friends. So what we're being asked to do is figure out how much was consumed in all. So our equation is going to look like this: 3/4 times 1/2, and we'll be able to say what that equals once we're done. But first we want to show our model. So let's go ahead and draw that model, okay? And I'm going to go ahead back to my red here. And I'm going to draw it. It does not matter which side your equations go on, because remember, the commutative property of multiplication says that we can multiply numbers in any order without getting different answer. So we get the same results. Okay, so let's break this up into fourths, right? Because we have our two fractions, 3/4 and 1/2. So we're multiplying. Remember the area model, length times width. So in this equation, 3/4, remember this one whole side is one linear unit, right? Or one unit. We want to break it up into fourths, right? Because our denominator tells us how many pieces that one is broken into. So let's go ahead and break it up into fourths. So here's half. And as we remember, hopefully half of half is fourth. Hopefully you remember that. Okay, so you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on this side. So this is half. Okay, so it's one whole piece, but it is going to be broken in half, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here with my highlighter and I'm going to highlight my side. So what I have here is I started with 3/4, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 3/4 of juice, and half, okay, 1 out of 2, because 1 and 2 was consumed, right? And this is going to help me to demonstrate or show my model. So this would be my rectangular array, right? So 3 out of 8 total, or 3/8, is how much was consumed, right? So 3/4 times 1/2 is 3/8. Okay, now, am I done? No. What am I missing? Yes, a unit. Now I'm done. Nope, not done. This is a story problem. So remember, it's super important when we're solving any story problems that we always answer in a complete sentence. So go ahead and get your complete sentence ready. Okay, and hopefully your sentence says they drank 3/8 liters of juice. So, just to recap, On fraction multiplication story problems, it's very important that when we're looking at our story problems, we're identifying the important numbers that are needed to solve the problem, and always remember what we're being asked to do. Sometimes these are multi-step. Now it's your turn to try. Go to the seesaw activity.